Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask Mr. Webster, because he's from Texas. Most of the immigration is coming through Texas, is it not?
Currently, yes.
And are most of those immigrants staying in Texas?
There are a lot of them staying in Texas, but they are routing throughout the country. It's affecting the whole nation.
But are most of them staying in Texas?
No.
Where are they going to?
Well, you'd have to ask each one of them where they're going.
I don't have time for that. You should have an idea.
I do know that the mayor of New York has expressed concerns about how many are arriving in his city, so there's a lot there.
Either Governor DeSantis or your governor have put them on airplanes and sent them to New York, buses, airplanes, whatever, and sent them to Chicago and sent them to Denver. Other than those those vacation tours that your governors have planned, where are these people going?
Well, you'd have to ask the Biden administration. They also bus individuals and fly individuals into the interior. Also, the local cities do as well. San Antonio, El Paso have all bused and brought people out of Texas, out of their cities.
I would suspect most of them are staying in Texas, more than any other state. And yet I read these proposals by certain Republicans, and Mr. Roy kind of got into it as well, that by mentioning Ms. Clark, that the Democrats allegedly are all in favor of the immigration folks, people coming into our country, because they want them to come into their districts for the census in 2030 to get more Congress people and more money. But most of the people are staying in Texas. And so it seems like Texas would get the congressman and Texas would get the money. So it doesn't make any sense that these states, and in fact, New York doesn't want them, and Chicago doesn't want them, and Denver doesn't want them, so they're obviously not caring about the 2030 census. Is it Jadwat? Have you heard these theories about the 2030 census and the reason the Democrats are doing this?
This is actually new to me.
It's new. Well, I read it. Marsha Blackburn, one of my senators, wrote that you might wonder why Democrats want to leave our border open. Explanation is straightforward. Blue states know they're on track to lose congressional seats and federal tax dollars when the next census is tabulated. By taking in undocumented immigrants who count toward the census population, Democrat-run states can help offset these losses and retain their congressional seats and federal funding. Is that loony?
It seems far-fetched to me.
And most of the immigrants are staying in the red states, Texas and Arizona, and I guess they go to California. I mean, why not? I mean, that's blue state. Anyway, neither here nor there. The main thing about this hearing, which is astonishing to me, is we've got a bill in the Senate that they're working on, which will be the most comprehensive reform of border security ever. President Biden has said that he will sign it and he will close the border. That's what I think the Republicans want. That's what I think they've campaigned on. But now Mr. Trump doesn't want that to happen. So when he talks to Speaker Johnson, he tells him, stop that bill. We don't want to have an immigration bill because it might help Joe Biden say, I've worked on the immigration crisis and I've helped stem it. So instead of working to help our country and stop the invasion, there's an invasion on our southern border. But we don't want to stop the invasion until Mr. Trump gets the chance to deal with his border issue. And we all know what Mr. Trump's border issue is. It's the security fences around the prison that he's going to go to if he doesn't get elected president. That's his border issue. He doesn't want to have to deal with that border. And for that reason, we're going to let the invasion on the southern part of our country continue, let all these people come in who are raping our women and cheating our friends and doing all these terrible things and ripping off veterans. We're going to let that happen until Mr. Trump can see to it that he doesn't go to the big house with the borders that he fears. It's just insane that we don't look after our country, which we should, and we should encourage the Senate, which they would do, to pass their bill. Mr. McConnell says it's the best bill they'll ever have. So does Lindsey Graham. Quite a few Republican senators are working on this. Langford, they all want to pass it, and they say they're going to get a much better bill than if they wait till the next administration, if there is a next administration, that this will be the best bill possible. And you always know that legislation is evolutionary. So you accept a bill. Anyway, this is just, we need to focus on the real issues, which is passing a border bill, protecting our border, protecting our country, and that would be passing a bill that the Senate has, which is a good bill, and getting it in the House and passing it here and not listening to Mr. Trump. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman from Tennessee. I'll now